Welcome back in. So let's go ahead and get into it. Today we're going to be talking about Bijan Robinson and somebody that I have ranked at RB2 already. And no, don't really think it's hot. And we're going to talk about it right now. So let's get into it. Bijan Robinson in 2022 at the University of Texas was fantastic. He had 257 carries, 1,575 rushing yards, and 18 rushing touchdowns. This man stands 6 foot, 220 pounds, so he definitely has the size. He is 89th percentile speed score and 82nd percentile burst score and averaged 6.1 yards per carry, which was 76th percentile. Now, if you look at some of the efficiency stuff, it all lines up as well. 11th in yards after contact per attempt, third in missed tackles forced per attempt. He was also ninth in carries of 15 plus yards and 19th in yards per route run. When we say that he's a generational talent, a lot of times he gets thrown around a lot for a lot of these dudes. This lines up. I think he's the best prospect we've seen since Saquon Barkley in terms of the running back position. The really only con you can bring up about him is he fumbled 6 times and over 500 touches. Now, in terms of the Atlanta Falcons in the landing spot, right? On the surface, a lot of people may say, I don't know, this is the Falcons. I really don't want to mess with this offense. But they led the league last year in rushing attempts per game, and they also were second in rushing yards per game with 160. And nothing's really changed with this group. He's running behind one of the best offensive lines in the league, and that is illustrated by they were fifth in adjusted line yards. They were sixth and second level and 13th in open field. And PFF ranked them eighth in terms of pass blocking, and they were first in run blocking last year in PFF grades. Now heading into 2023, and nothing's really changed for this offensive line group. Actually, it's gotten better because they added Matthew Bergeron in the draft, and I think this is going to be a pretty big boost to this offensive line at left guard because that was really the glaring need they had. They still have Jake Matthews. They still have Chris Lindstrom and Caleb McGarry to anchor those tackles. Now, PFF in 2023 actually has them as the number 7 overall offensive line, which is another feather in Bijan Robinson's cap. Now, Arthur Smith loves to run the football. We know this, right? And so he's heading into a situation where he is going to be the workhorse. Yes, I love Tyler Algier just as much as the next one. Loved him last year, pounded the table for him as late in the draft, set over 1,000 rushing yards. Kind of came on strong, especially in the second half, but those days are done. Bijan Robinson is going to handle a massive workload here in Atlanta. Now, I get it. One of the things that everybody always brings up and everybody talks about when it comes to any rookie running back is, I can't do that. I've seen some people in certain places say that trying to get a gauge for where people feel on him. People say, I wouldn't take him until the second or third round. Well, you're not going to get him because he's currently coming off the board at RB3 or 10th overall, which I think is fair. In terms of, I get it, I got to see it to believe it kind of mindset. Well, we already have some history on running backs that were drafted inside the top 10 at the rookie season. They went off. Not one of them finished less than an RB1. We had 2 of them finish inside the top 2, and that was Zeke and Saquon. We also had Gurley, who finished RB7. You had Fournette finish at RB8, and Christian McCaffrey, who finished at RB11. So there's some history behind rookie running backs being drafted inside the top 10 going off their rookie season. You're not going to waste Bijan Robinson putting him in some sort of a committee. The Falcons went all in on him in this offense, and I think it's definitely going to stand true. Yes, Desmond Ritter's still there at quarterback, but I think you can see some dump-offs for Bijan Robinson this year. I think seeing him go over 300 touches is definitely in the range of possibility this year for Bijan Robinson. And if he is, he can more than pay off with how good he is as a running back to be a top 10 running back this year. But if you're drafting him as RB3, you're obviously expecting more than that. So is that the ceiling for Bijan Robinson? Are you drafting him at his ceiling? I think with everything that we know and how everything is lined up for him, I have no problem taking him if you can get him inside the top 5 at running back, right? Yes, I still want my elite wide receiver. I feel like I've talked about this a ton. I really want to come away in the draft. If I have an early pick, a top 5 pick, I want to come away with a wide receiver. But once I get past that, I feel a little bit better unless like A.J. Brown was on the board at pick 10, pick 11, pick 12, going with a running back there, getting Bijan Robinson at that point. Because more than likely, your top 3 or your top 2 or 3 running backs are probably going to be off the board, and Bijan Robinson likely will still be there at the end of the first round. And if he is, I am pushing my chips all in on Bijan Robinson because this offense is set up for him perfectly. He is going to be the man. He is in a not great division, so that should definitely help him as well. And he has a head coach who loves to run the football like it's 1990 again. So that being said, push your chips all in like I am on Bijan Robinson there. He is going to pay off, barring some sort of injury, which is something we should never try to predict. He is that good. He is that man. He is, as the kids say, him. So, that being said, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Let me know, what are your thoughts on Bijan? Where are you comfortable with taking him? We'll catch you on the next one. Bye.